Hi, I teach music theory and my students always had a hard time learning the circle of fifths until I invented music dice, using the shape of the letters to remember the key signatures. It's just 1 minute of fun in the lesson, rolling dice, and the students learn the circle of fifths in no time. We even use these dice for traditional games requiring dice. What's the circle of fifths good for? My students wanted to know, and I said, transposing, knowing the type of triads on the degrees of the scale, and even visualizing scales and modes. And then I realized it would be great if I had a tool which gives me the opportunity to show all these potentials of the circle of fifths in an appealing and intuitive way. And so I came up with the idea of an interactive poster, thank you,
You're welcome.
with dodecagon discs which show the major and the minor scale and simultaneously the type of triads on the degrees of the scale. Pink stands for major, blue for minor, yellow for diminished. And the magnetic center makes transposition dead easy. I also teach scales and chords, and my students have to notate it. And in times past, they had to erase their mistakes, and it was more a compulsory task than a joyful learning experience. That's why I built a game board with 3D printed note heads and accidentals, and with changeable and shiftable clefs. And now my students experiment with notation, and they learn like they should learn. Playfully, with clear instructions as guidelines. To this day, the circle of fifths with inlaid dodecagon discs was incorporated, and also a piano keyboard. And I thought, why not have the kids experiment with 3D black keys? And now they don't just memorize the keyboard structure, they literally grasp the architecture of the keyboard. Can we play a card game? A card game in music class?
Why not?
Okay. So I invented music cards to play games like scale rummy, a variation of Uno, or cooperative chord games. And the results have to be notated on the stave, played on the piano, and read on the circle of fifths. At Open House, I wanted to get families and friends involved in music theory education. I was looking for simple dice games and found Crowned Anchor, which I transformed into Lucky Keys. We had so much fun. The students could explain the dice, and the parents experienced that music theory isn't as dull as they thought. I hang the circle of fifths clock in my music class and said to my students, for the next exercise, I'll give you a major second. What? 10 minutes. That's always a major second. If you order a clock, of course, you'll get the whole collection of ideas how to use it to it. Do you also have students walk on a stave on the floor? There are many ways to do it, but the easiest way is a washable PVC stave banner. All of these materials will be published in a Kickstarter campaign as of May 15th, 2019. You can order only dice, only cards, only a clock, only a stave banner, but there will also be sets available for educators, schools, or families. Most of the material yet only exists as prototypes. If funded successfully, it will be produced professionally, made in Germany. And for the printed items, I will use recycled paper as much as possible, considering sustainability. I'm Axel Christian Schulz, freelance musician from Germany. And there are 3 parts to my professional career. Number 1 is choir conducting, songwriting, and publishing the originating CDs and sheet music in my own publishing company since 2004. Number 2 is I set the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to music. And number 3 is what I focus on right now and right here. I teach music theory in different contexts. When teaching, I'm always looking for playful and creative ways so that my students can understand the topic thoroughly and for good. In these settings, I developed a lot of materials to make teaching and understanding the old topic music theory fun and easy. For that reason, I incorporated ACS music in 2012 and sold the stuff in Germany. Now I launched this Kickstarter campaign to give you, wherever you are in the world, the chance to also benefit from the advantages of my materials. By the way, I already ran 4 crowdfunding campaigns on startnext.com and they were all funded successfully. Your money will be used to produce all of these different items in serial production made in Germany. And since this is a large campaign, international postage and packaging is reasonable. After the campaign, it will be much more. Therefore, back the campaign, get your early bird prices, and make your music education a game.
Music theory, easy for you and me.
Of course, there will be an app for iOS and Android to make these haptic materials sound. And they'll be ready-to-use music education material with exercises for students. And as a supporter, you'll get the updates of these materials, which can be sent via email for free. Thank you for supporting and backing ACS Music Education Material.
Theory, easy for you and me. Music theory, easy for you and me. Music theory, easy for you and me.